got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Ooh. Welcome to the show. Ooh. Thank you for being with me. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. My biblical question. Think about it. Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Have you ever wondered about that? Amazing, huh? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're busy right now and you cannot sit and watch the show, you can, no matter what you're doing and where you are in the world, right? You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Amazing, huh? And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram, and JLP Talk on Twitter. JLP Talk on Twitter. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, telephone, telegraph, tell your mama. Amazing. That's how you get the information out. And then for your super chats, for your donations, and have your comments read out loud, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP. Rebuildingtheman.com. You can make your donations and all that stuff there, right? Locals. You can do it on Locals as well. Locals. Grandpa. Oh, by the way, it is Tuesday, and every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday.
That is mind-blowing. He black. I rest my case.
Wow.
It means I love the country. means I'm fighting for the country.
Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me.
I look at two things, globalists and nationalists. I'm somebody that wants to take care of our country.
And that's what we need. And by the way, it's buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk for your super chats. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk. We now live in an insane world. Grandpa tell me about the good old days. We live in an insane world now. The world gone crazy. It's gone crazy. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. We have an insane government working against us and not for us. It's supposed to be working for us. They are our employees, our public servants. They are working against us, and they're like openly doing it, but they're saying that they're doing something else. That is insane. And not only are we living in an insane world out there, inside of others, our world is insane if you're not working on it. Your own world is insane. Have you ever thought about that? Why am I so insane? Why am I so in the imagination and emotion? Why am I always trying to get some type of thrill, a feeling? And I think it's me. Have you ever really questioned your actions so that you can really see what's going on instead of just living in them and always looking for up and down feelings? Me, feelings. When you can understand your world, you're going to understand what's going on around you, and it's going to blow your mind. But you got to understand what's going on inside of you first, how insane you are. It's crazy. And it's been pushed as normal. Insane people are telling insane people that your life is normal. It's all about you. Talk about a spiritual battle. Why don't you pull aside from the world, pull away, and get to know what's going on with you? Pay attention to the insane things you've done, and you'll see who's been driving you all along, and it was never you. It was never you, but you thought it was you. And you're not going to see it until you look at you, what's driving you. Well, we have this insane government that's functioning now. It's the same insane government inside of you, each individual. But the good news is that when you understand you can live in this world peacefully with perfect peace. Because you give up thinking that you're in the driver's seat. I want to give you some so-called big news ideas or new ideas from our so-called government, our so-called president. We really, it's interesting too because I understand that we have an administration that they are so unhappy individuals in our government and media and churches and everywhere. They're so unhappy, they're driving everybody else crazy because they're trying to find something to make themselves feel better. So they're destroying the country. They're making you suffer because they're suffering. And what will you do? You go and vote them in again. You want more pain. Have you noticed you do the same thing over and over again? Because you want more pain, even though you say you don't, but you do. Because if you didn't, you stop doing what you're doing, or you see who is causing you to do what you're doing. An example, the big news or new ideas from our so-called president. This is from Yahoo. The Biden administration is considering forcing some migrant families who enter the country without authorization to remain near the border in Texas. Watch this from News Nation and Breitbart.
Sources confirming a report that the White House wants to keep some asylum seekers and illegal border crossers in Texas while they wait for asylum screenings. Texas Governor Greg Abbott quickly pushing back on the proposal, calling it a, quote, scam that was tried years ago and was shot down by a judge, before promising to send President Biden, quote, the same swift justice. Under the White House plan, families that would be held in Texas are part of the Family Expedited Removal Management, or FIRM, program. About 600 families in total are in the program right now. To monitor the families, the head of the household will get an ankle monitor and a phone to track their whereabouts. The El Paso sector is apparently preparing to roll this practice out as early as Monday, according to DHS sources familiar with the plan. The goal of the White House, to slow the number of buses being sent by Governor Abbott to major cities across the U.S. Back along the southern border, the number of families crossing reached an all-time high in August. More than 93,000 families detained, as a Texas governor threatens to send even more buses nationwide.
The president has done more to secure the border and to deal with this issue of immigration than anybody else. He really has. We've expanded the pathway to citizenship under this president. And mind you, he's been doing this on his own.
She lied to you. We have never had a border crisis as it is right now. And the real reason, they're not telling you the real reason they're doing this, keeping the illegal aliens near the border in Texas there. They are trying to turn Texas blue. They are trying to turn Texas from a conservative state to a liberal state. That's all it's about. It's about control. It's about power. Because the big states are already Democrat. They're already liberal. They're already liberal. And then they mention the word family, right? But it's mostly single people. And if it is a child, it's with a single mother. It's not about family. It's not about anything but turning the red states, conservative states, for those who don't know, into blue states, Democrat. And they've been working on Texas for a long time. I remember years ago reporting that they were trying to turn Texas blue. And the fact that a lot of folks have gone to Texas, that's not going to stop it from happening. If you didn't stop them from turning California blue, New York blue, wherever else blue, Oregon, how will you stop them from Texas? You're on the run. And where will you run to from Texas? You going to Florida? They're working on Florida too, believe me. They work day and night to turn Florida blue as well. One thing about evil within yourself and within, you can't run from it. You have to face it head on. And these people want to turn Texas blue. They want to control you. They want a communist, socialist society. So the illegal aliens that's crossing over is not families. And even if they were families, they still should not be coming into my country illegally. And the Biden administration doing nothing about it. They're welcoming these people. They'll welcome them into the country. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. All the wrong people in the right places to make sure my country never returned. They're like leaving the borders wide open. Matter of fact, they cut a hole in one portion of the border. They pretending for some animals or something to cross in and out. But it was for the illegal, because as soon as the hole was cut, the illegals started crawling through it. They did nothing about it. And that stupid, shallow, empty so-called vice president, Kamala Harris, she's out dancing in the street. She's partying down. She doesn't care. So I wonder, do you really care? I was talking to some grown-up adults over the weekend, and they truly believe that Biden is doing his very best at the border. They believe it. I'm looking at them. We were trying to have this conversation, and they're like totally seriously believe it. And everything I tried to point out that it wasn't true, they had an excuse for it, and they were serious. I'm like, what news are you watching? I watch MSNBC. I watch CNN, and I know the Republicans won't let Biden do what he needs to do. The same way they did with Obama, these people said. The brainwashing is a mess. You have to want to overcome the brainwashing in order to overcome it. That's the only way. Another human being cannot cause you to overcome brainwashing. You, the individual, have to want it. And only when you want to overcome the brainwashing will the truth come in and change it. Because it's spiritual. You're not in control of your own life. You never have been. You never will be. You have never made one decision in your entire life. Our government is as insane as the people, because they are the people. Ronald Reagan said it best. This is from Reagan Presidential Library. Watch this.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Absolutely. Terrifying. When the government tell you they're the government, we're here to help, you better run. Run to the poll and vote them out. They're not here to help you. They're here to destroy you and control you, to keep you afraid. It's like crazy adults. These are like full-grown adults with adult bodies, but their minds are insane. They're like crazy people running around with no clue of what to do. Or they know what to do, but they're not doing it because they want to control. They want to control you. When the government says, I'm here to help, they're really telling you, I'm here to help myself. It's totally, openly insane. And the people, the voters, the employers of the government are full of fear. Nothing but fear. And they are on the run. Do you see now that your government can care less about you? And you can care less about others? You don't care about anyone but yourself. It's the same spirit. It's the same spirit. And you have this dumb black mayor of New York, as dumb as a doorknob, or pretending to be dumb, because he wants to control. Air Adams. May God have mercy on New York. It's done. It's done. The blue states are done. And now they're turning the blue states, the red states, into the blue states. They'll roam the earth to see who they can destroy and control. No different than you in your own life. Here is the latest of what Eric Adams had to say from the New York Times. In a remark at a town hall meeting, Eric Adams said that he did not see an ending to the migrant crisis and renewed his push for federal help. Watch this from the New York Post and ABC.
Started with a madman down in Texas decided he wanted to bus people up to New York City. 110,000 migrants. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. We have to feed, clothe, house, educate the children, wash their laundry sheets, give them everything they need, health care. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian-speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. The city we knew we're about to lose.
You pledged during your campaign to keep New York City a sanctuary, a city. Do you have any concern that policy is attracting more people to the border, more people to cross the border to make that dangerous trip?
No, not at all. This city has always been a sanctuary city, and we've always managed those who wanted to come to New York City to pursue the American dream.
See how he lied? They made New York a sanctuary city, so they should welcome all hundreds and thousands of the illegal aliens to New York. What did he complain about? And if you notice when he was complaining about it, he didn't mention Joe Biden. He didn't mention the Democratic Party who allowed this to happen, who want this to happen, who will not put up the wall. This issue could be over with just like that. Finish the wall that the Great White Hope had nearly finished. All you gotta do is finish the wall, it's over. They don't want to fix the problem. They're lying to you. His complaining about the 10,000 illegal aliens coming in or whatever, he's acting out. Because if he truly cared about it, he would tell Joe Biden, he's a Democrat, he would tell Joe Biden, hey, you got to put the wall up. This thing can end right now. Just put the wall up. And then ship the illegals back to the country that are here. It would be over. They're talking out of both sides of the mouth. They don't care. They're lying to you. They are lying to you. And it's one thing after another one, after another one, after another one. And it's all about putting fear into you. They want you on the run. And what do? You run. You don't put your feet on solid ground and overcome. Some people do, but most don't. Some people do, but most don't. Yahoo is reporting that state officials announced at a news conference Thursday that people in Minnesota without legal immigration status can now begin the process of getting their driver's license. Oh, you're an illegal? You know what? Go get a driver's license. Because the voting this year is coming up. We need your vote. It's all about that. Why would you give an illegal alien a driver's license? Why? Because you want votes. That's why. They're doing that all over now, in many places, several places. And you know what you do? You vote them in again. They'll be 80 and 90 years old, you still voted them in because your life is insane. Your world is insane. So you keep doing insane things and it feels good, all for the thrill of it. That's why people attack one another. They want revenge against one another. They want to make it to feel good. They call it life. They call death life. They call feel-good feelings life. What are you going to do? Will you get over this so that you don't be crazy in this insane world? You could be sane in an insane world, but it's inside of you. You got to overcome your insanity first. Then you will treat all in the way you would like to be treated because that will be, it will be who you are now. You won't be insane. You will be sane. But you need sanity to help you to overcome insanity. You cannot overcome insanity of yourself. You can't do anything about it. But admit to yourself that you're insane. Like, what the? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why am I afraid? Why do I need to feel something all the time? That's insanity. Question your insanity. You can overcome it, and you're going to understand everybody else's insanity. One other example of total insanity. We got a crazy government in control now. New York Post has reported that San Francisco hit with tidal wave of fentanyl overdose death as sitting on track to set grim record. Watch this from ABC.
Fentanyl first entered the drug scene here in 2018. Now, 2 years later, in 2020, during the pandemic, San Francisco lost 725 people due to overdoses. That was more than all the people who died of COVID in this city that year. Now, despite all the resources, despite throwing everything at it, city officials are saying it could be worse this year.
So far this year, 473 people have died of accidental overdoses, 385 of them due to fentanyl.
80% of the deaths to date in 2023, overdose deaths, are now caused by fentanyl. Fentanyl has become cheaper, more potent, and more available. It pains me to share that this is the highest overdose deaths San Francisco has experienced.
This material can be dispersed in the air, food, or water in the most rudimentary ways, and this needs to be stopped before it brings down our country from the inside.
Brett Rubin is a counselor who for years was addicted to heroin.
We don't give up on anyone. If people say, no thank you, go away, we don't want your help today, we say, how about a different day?
Amazing, huh? Insane people running my country. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. When will you work on yourself to see what's going on with you so you can be free? Quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame scam. how the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Okay, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. A spiritual battle. I know most people don't believe that. They think they're in charge, and you're not. Really, if you really look at yourself and reflect on some of the things that you've done in life, and you go, what the? Who made me do that? Anyway, the Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And then at 11 a.m. it's Tuesday, Joel Friday TV. E-Black, Joel Friday every Tuesday at 11 a.m. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby show is here. The American Anchor Baby. We are building a 24-hour talk network here, one person at a time. All men, all talk, all the time. And I appreciate your help. And those who, people, how can I donate now? Go to rebuildingtheman.com. We have been rebuilding the family for the last 34 years, since 1990. I'm a nonprofit tax-deductible organization. So thank you for your support. You can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to make a donation there. Let me go to, there's one line open you want to call in now at 888-775-3773, 888-77-JESSE. Let me go to first-time caller from Virginia, Crystal. Crystal, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
I completely agree with you that this is a spiritual battle. We are living in Sodom and Gomorrah in our country. And the talk about immigration, this is something I just say. It's kind of funny how black folks like to say reparations. Well, your reparations are at the border.
Yep.
That's
a good point.
If you vote Democrat and you vote for these policies, you're voting your reparation away. When you think about the money it's taken to house people, to bus, plane, train, whatever, and then all the goodies they get along, that could be a new iPad for a black household.
That's
you know?
Yeah.
Or a cell phone, or, whatever. But what's really sad...
And in Texas, they're talking about now, the government is saying that they want to keep them at the border of Mexico and Texas, and they're gonna put ankle bracelets on there.
Yeah, because
that's gonna cost
they're
money
gonna keep
too.
those on. Because they're gonna keep those on, right?
Yes.
I mean, hello. I'm a 40-year-old woman out here in Virginia, and I can tell you, I know people that have had ankle bracelets, and I know people that have gotten them off.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point.
What's really sad is that a lot of people don't realize that Governor Abbott is not the only one busing these people. The administration is busing twice as many people as the governor of Texas is to New York.
They also have been reported that they were flying them into New York.
Oh, yeah. And if you remember, what was it, a couple years ago, there was footage of planes flying in the middle of the night, unloading illegal aliens into different states, different airports.
Yep.
And they want to hide it. And a lot of people don't realize that our government is a number one child trafficker.
Yeah.
A lot of these people coming over the border, there's children that are not with a family. They're being smuggled in. And I was watching something yesterday, this whistleblower that was working the border and working in New York, housing these people, and said that a lot of these kids that are coming over the border are coming over without parents or anything, and then rich people in America are paying for these children.
Yep. Amazing.
So, I mean, it's like, you know, it's all good to be good-hearted. You know, what would Jesus do? Well, some of these people from Venezuela, some of them, yes, they are fleeing violence and persecution. I mean, we don't talk about Christian persecution, but, you know, we got a Muslim coming over. Oh, let's take them in. But,
Krishna, who do you blame, the government or the people who vote for the government?
The people that vote for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say, oh, it's their fault. Well, who did you vote for? What policies are you for? And in my line of business, I owned a couple restaurants, and I had a lot of younger kids working for me, 16, 25. And, you know, they're dumb as a box of rocks, common sense. But I'm technically not supposed to talk politics, but I tried to teach them, look, just because your mama or whoever votes Democrat doesn't mean you have to.
That's right.
You need to compare the policies. What policies do you fall in line with? And then you got to think about the money. You know, it's all allocating money in the right places. And this administration allocates money to everyone but the taxpayer.
Yeah, yeah.
They do, and it's sickening. I mean, I went to the grocery store the other day. I wanted to get some steaks for the grill. 2 10-ounce ribeyes, $38. And it's like...
And the gas prices have gone through the roof again.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous. And that's another, like, when Biden got voted in and he cut that Keystone pipeline and that gas went up, all these kids that were working for me, oh my gosh, gas is $4 and whatever a gallon. And I'm like, you're that stupid? You really thought that the climate cult, right? The climate cult was going to keep gas the same? No, because they're buying it from people that we aren't even allies with.
Yeah.
They're giving our country away.
Yeah. What a mess.
And fentanyl. I know personally, I've had about 6 people that work for me that died from fentanyl overdoses since 2019.
Wow.
And I can tell you that it is the most horrendous thing. I mean, some of these people accidentally got fentanyl. They thought they were getting heroin, but it was fentanyl and it killed them. And, you know, we can sit there and blame the person and say, you know, you shouldn't put that needle in your arm and all those things. But like you said, it's a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
That's their demon.
Yeah.
But where did this start? This started years ago with opioids, you know, going to a hospital for a sprained ankle and they're giving you 90 Oxycontins or whatever. So really, we need to point at the government again on that.
But it even started before that when they started to legalize pot. When they started to tell the people you can smoke pot out in the open now, you're not going to jail, you won't be fined. And then the people accepted that, And once they accepted that, then they start bringing in all this other kind of drugs. And it's all about controlling the people.
I'm on the opposite spectrum with you with marijuana there.
Nice.
Now, do I think everybody should be able to do it? No. Do I think 7-Eleven should sell it? No. I do believe it is good for medicinal purposes.
Like what, for an example?
Well, it's been proven people that have diabetes, it can help your pancreas regulate insulin better.
So pot heals diabetes?
It doesn't heal it. It can help it.
But it doesn't heal it. So what good is it for then?
Well, it's also been shown that it can reduce your chances of Alzheimer's.
Does it heal Alzheimer's?
I don't. My grandfather did. But
does pot heals Alzheimer's?
I don't say heal. I would say.
So what
help.
good is it then? It just makes you feel good about being wrong.
Okay, well, I will give you a great example.
Okay.
I have a friend that is epileptic, okay, since she was 13. She's been to different doctors all around the country. You know, she's severely epileptic. She started doing edibles and came off of her medication, and she has not had a seizure in 2.5 years. So I think that helps.
Now she's high on pot. She's not healed. She's just high. It's like taking an aspirin when you have a headache. The headache is still there. You just don't feel it.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. But I feel
your
like
body
if God put it here.
What?
Why did God put it here?
Put what here?
Marijuana. Why did he put it here?
God didn't put marijuana here.
No?
The people grew it. They took
but where did it come from originally?
There was something that was good, and it wasn't pot, and they took it and perverted it to make money.
Okay. I see what you're saying. But, yeah, I mean, I'm the generation of DARE. Remember DARE, when the police come to your school?
Right.
And they say, this is the worst thing you could ever do. You're going to die from this, and it scared you. It scared you. You're like, oh, no, I'm smoking crack, But now they don't do that.
Keep kids off of drugs, especially Generation X.
And I will say that DARE, really, it scared me. Thinking about, oh my gosh, what if you do acid and you have this bad trip and you're like half retarded forever, right?
Well, now they dare to tell you that drugs are not good for you. Everybody tell you that it is good. But you know what? I got to run, Crystal, I really appreciate your call.
Yes, and this is my first time calling, and today was actually the first time this morning me ever listening to your show. I listened to some of your old shows.
Yes.
And I looked you up, and I was like, I'm going to call in. I've never called in anywhere, but I'm going to do it this morning.
I appreciate I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, God bless you, and thank you, and good luck, and I will continue listening, okay?
Thank you. I was told that you wanted to respond to the biblical question.
Yes.
Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people?
Personally, I do not. We live in the greatest country in the world. And I can say personally, I do not. And I also believe that you have your own purpose and your own value, and what you do with your life is your own free will.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate you responding to that biblical question. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you, Crystal. Call me again.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Amazing input. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amazing input. Joel, there's a line open at 888-7753-773. Joel is out of Nebraska. Joel, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Joel? Is it Joel, Sean, or Joel? All right, check out, see what's going on. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you?
Fine. Happy Country and Western Tuesday to you.
I know, huh? Joy to the world.
Make a joyful noise unto the Lord.
Joy to the people.
On buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk, J-Dog bought a coffee. This one's funny. Every second I play video games, I feel so guilty because I feel like I should be busy working more or helping others. How many hours per day do you think I am allowed to play video games without angering God for being lazy?
What?
You didn't listen?
Repeat that.
Every second that I play video games, I feel so guilty because I feel like I should be busy working more or helping others. How many hours per day do you think I'm allowed to play video games without angering God for being lazy?
Well, number one, you're not angering God for anything. It's impossible to anger God. And if you're a grown up, unless you're making money from it, I guess, like a job, there's no reason to sit there more than an hour as a grown up. And so stop judging yourself, though. That's why you're feeling guilty. You know, I'm judging myself for sitting here playing video games all day. It's not God that's judging you, but don't be addicted to the video games. A whole lot of folks are. It's like fentanyl. They're addicted to it. But it's you, the Satan is judging you, not you. All right? But an hour a day is fine. That's enough. What? Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds. Nancy Pelosi is running for re-election in San Francisco. She says it's hammer time.
I was thinking of Nancy Pelosi announcing, according to the report, that she's going to be running for re-election in San Francisco. We just showed you all those people on fentanyl and people dying from it up there in San Francisco. She want to stay there a little longer to make it wronger. Make it worse. And watch and see if the people vote for her. I'm pretty sure they will, but maybe they won't. But we'll see. But she want to come back and just keep it going. And the people vote for her. What a mess. Thank you.
Someone bought 2 coffees saying, good morning.
Good morning, heartache. Here we go again. Good morning, heartache. Thought we said goodbye last night. I tossed and turned till it was done. And now here you are again. Amazing. Thank you.
Mr. Pink bought a coffee. Grandpa Jesse, tell me about the good old days. Sad how many people are looking to this crazy world for an identity or validation these days.
Yeah.
I work with them at my job now. I swear this guy went on break and sat down to do his makeup. Actual females don't even do makeup on break at work. Talk about a setup. Doing all that work to create a fake identity. What the?
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. The world gone crazy. Amazing. Thank you.
And a very long super chat from Stefan from Denmark. 10 coffees. Dear Jesse, I'm writing this letter to you. You can stop me if it gets too long, but I think it's good. I'm writing this letter to you to let you know that you've gained another brother. I know you won't take credit for it, but through you, I have found God. After living in hell most of my life, I have finally found home. I have done terrible things, both to others and to myself. The devil has guided me, and I have worshipped him. Now the time has come for God to forgive me and renew my mind. I have forgiven my father, and I now see that I genuinely feel sorry for him because he knows no better, and he is unchangeable. My mother is dead, and I have also forgiven her in my heart, even though I wish I could do it face-to-face and overcome fear. From August 18th to the present day, I have been watching at least 3 hours of your content on YouTube daily, primarily from Bond. I've also been practicing silent prayer at least twice a day. The result of the above is that I have started to see. I'm beginning to understand that I am not who I thought I was. My ego is slowly but surely dissolving, and a new world is opening up for me. A world free of anger, based on love, including forgiveness, acceptance, and non-judgment. I am patient with myself. There is still much I do not understand. I am still awaiting wisdom. For example, I don't fully understand how all thoughts and ideas, except for practical ones, are lies. What is a practical thought and what is not? When buying a house, I need to think about where I want to live, what the finances should look like, etc. It involves many decisions that need to be made. It's still difficult for me to know if I'm making the right decision or not. Should I go to work out, or does my mind need rest? How should I raise my child? Have I chosen the right woman? Etc., etc. As you can hear, I don't have the mind of God yet, but I am patient and continue my practice. Be aware, keep my mind where my body is. Jesse, you have changed my life. I knew there was more to life, and I have finally found the truth. When you speak, the Holy Spirit speaks to me, and I know I have finally found home. Sincerely, Stefan from Denmark.
Amazing. Stefan, stay with it, stay with it. Stay with the silent prayer morning and night, and during the day, just relax and bring your mind back to where your body is in the present. And if you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and go through the hell of emotions, go all the way through the hell of emotions in order to enter into heaven, I'm telling you, your mind will become clear. He will renew your mind. And he is renewing it. The fact that you can see is because the light is shining inside and your mind is being renewed by getting rid of the darkness. And you will see. Stay with it, man. Stay with it. Stay with it. All right? You haven't seen anything yet. And you're going to see that all of your decisions will be made for you. Human beings are incapable of making decisions. No such thing. In the darkness, decisions are made for you, but you think you are making them. All angry people think they are making decisions. They do. It sounds like them. It feels like them, they say. Even though there's no feeling to the real. But the decisions will be made for you. And as far as the practical decision, you know, what you want for dinner, what you want for breakfast, lunch. And the wife that you have, you didn't make the decision to get that wife. That thing made, in your mind, made that decision for you, and you thought you were making it. But stay with it, all right? It's going to work out. God bless you. Amazing testimony. Stay with it. God is with you. Amazing. I appreciate that, too. Thank you. I got to take a break, and we're going to finish the Super Chats and all that, your phone calls and everything when I come back. The hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Evil Google versus evil DOJ, a monopoly lawsuit, antitrust, whatever that is, lawsuit in the swamp itself, Washington, D.C. And Hurricane Lee is brewing in the Atlantic still, I guess. There's a little bit of China virus hype update and other things. Kim Jong-un, maybe. Crazy, catastrophic flooding in Libya. 2,000 people died? Whew, crazy. I may not get to that this hour, but maybe next hour, hopefully. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Country and Western Tuesday, September 12th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in to get on hold, to get on air with JLP, and he will get back with you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Call Me Nonsense Network CNN reports Google goes to court today to face the Injustice Department and a group of states that accuse the company of antitrust violations in its massive search and online ad business. The tech giant has maintained that consumers simply prefer its tools over its competitors. But some of its rivals allege that Google is illegally holding monopoly power over internet search results. The far-left females at the Skim call it a 10-week trial in the swamp itself. I call it the swamp. They don't, the ladies. In Washington, D.C., biggest tech monopoly trial since the DOJ sued Microsoft in the late 90s and won. Google's role as the internet's gatekeeper. The government may make it even worse. Self-promoting Google reviews over Yelp, for businesses and stuff. Alphabet made deals with, I guess Alphabet did, the owner of Google, made deals with Apple and Samsung, making Google the default search engine for these smartphones. Will the government open up the market for a new generation of businesses like it did 20 years ago, right when Google got its start? Google has 90% of the U.S. search engine market. Now, Google is in a similar position as Microsoft in the 90s. And now, look at Microsoft now. It's pathetic. Makes me want to spit. Hurricane Lee, currently a Category 3 storm per Call Me Nonsense Network CNN, churning in the Atlantic, is expected to grow significantly as it makes its northward turn in the coming days. Meteorologists say its growth will soon help determine the extent of its impact in the U.S. Northeast, as well as Bermuda and Canada. Forecasts show Lee will pass near but west of Bermuda late Thursday and Friday. Could deliver strong winds, rain, high surf to the island territory. The storm also is on track to send big waves to a growing area of the East Coast throughout its the week as it tracks northward. This will likely cause coastal erosion, dangerous surf, and life-threatening rip currents at beaches. China virus vax. The FDA has signed off on updated COVID-19, that's the global homo word for it, vaccines that target circulating variants in the United States. Drug manufacturers Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech said the new vaccines are effective against EG5, currently the dominant strain. Have you ever even heard of EG5? I just barely heard of it now. A group of independent experts that advises the CDC on its vaccination decisions will now weigh the safety and effectiveness of the updated vaccines and make recommendations. Blah, 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 blah. Health experts anticipate the vaccines could become available within just a few days at certain pharmacies and doctors' offices, like you care. Kim Jong-un. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Little Rocket Man, has arrived in Russia ahead of the expected meeting with Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, as the U.S. urged Pyongyang not to provide weapons to Moscow's war in Ukraine. Kim's visit comes after the National Security Council, whatever that is, warned last week that arms negotiations between Russia and North Korea are actively advancing. U.S. and its allies, global homo commie buzzword, are particularly concerned about the technology North Korea is seeking from Russia in return for weaponry. North Korea is seeking technology that could advance its satellite nuclear-powered submarine capabilities, which could significantly advance its capabilities in the areas that the rogue regime has not fully developed. Wow, good for them. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Got to stand up strong. ain't the truth about themselves to understand what's been wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week. It's a doozy. Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? You hear that all the time, right? So I want to know, do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Amazing biblical question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy and you can't watch the show live because you're working out or whatever you're doing, you can podcast it later, of course, but you can be listening while you're doing what you're doing on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and y'all know what to do. To donate and have your comments and super chats read out loud, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP, buymeacoffee.com/JLP, or JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And Bond JLP Cash App. All right? It's Tuesday. It's the second hour of the show. Every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday. Bring back. Bring back. Oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back. Bring back. Oh, bring country what to me. Ooh, let the dogs out. Amazing. Amazing times, right? Mind-blowing stuff. Let me go to LaToya. Oh, LaToya gone. There's one line open, 888-77-53-773. Let me go to Larry out of Indiana. Larry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
All is well, sir. How are you?
I'm well. I just got to say, for anyone who's listening, if you are not with it, them thoughts are not yours.
That's for sure.
I just got to say, so I caught a pretty bad speeding ticket last week going up to Michigan to go see my girlfriend in college. And it was I was going 107 down one of those Amish roads. It wasn't like I was rushing to see her type thing. Like it was my third hour of driving. I was almost there, not even 30 minutes away. You know, I just got pulled over, arrested, I was only in there for like 3 hours or whatnot. Like, it was my very first time being arrested, so it went pretty well. I kept having thoughts like, oh yeah, you're going to be in jail for a long time. Long story short, I was only in there for
You
like
kept having
3 hours.
You were having thoughts about what?
I was going to have to stay in jail. I wasn't going to be able to get out. All this old crazy nonsense. I was only in there for like not even 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
And I got out, and I had court, and I just have all these thoughts. You're going to go to jail. Going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail. I've never had anything about. I'm not even a criminal. I'm only 18. This is my very first time getting in trouble with the police. But just come to find out, the prosecutor just called me, and I'm not even going to go to jail. I just got to pay a fine and do some community work. So
nice.
It's just amazing. Well, I do have a good question. So in my church, we're taught that, before not my church anymore, I don't go there anymore. We're taught that you have to pray before every meal. Like, they tell you if you need to pray before every meal, what if someone poisons you? And if you pray before you eat, then God will take that poison away. And if you don't, all that type of thing. So I wanted to ask you, do you have to pray before every single meal?
You don't have to pray before, but what I would recommend is just before you take that first bite of food, you sit there for a minute and look at it, be aware of the food. And then you start eating it so that you can eat without becoming unconscious by the food. It won't be like a drug, because when we eat, because of the ego, the food it causes us to go unconscious if you're not aware of it. But if you eat without going unconscious, you only eat what you need, and it won't cause you to go unconscious. You'll stay aware.
Oh, okay.
God said when we eat to remember, not to forget. And so be present, be conscious while you're eating. It's going to be hard to do it, because you sit there, you look at the food for a second, and then you're like, I'm going to be aware while I eat this meal. And right after the first 2 or 3 bites, you're unconscious again, and the next thing you know, the meal is done. It's over with. So try to be aware while you're eating.
Okay.
That's all I mean.
And one last question. You should love everyone, including thy enemy, correct?
Yeah, meaning don't hate anyone. Never get angry at anyone, even your bitter enemy.
So that means that we should even love, like Satan, the devil, we should even love Satan, although he can't control himself, et cetera, whatever.
Well, you're not loving him, you're just not hating evil, but you're overcoming evil with good. And anytime you get angry at evil, it will control you. And so love just means don't hate, don't be angry. When you don't have anger, you have perfect love.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for taking my call, Jesse. I will be calling back. I got like this little notes list of a bunch of questions I have to ask you over a couple of weeks, etc. But I just got that call from the prosecutor. I just had to call.
Right on, man. Stay out of thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. There's a line open. Let me go to Will. Will be done. A first-time caller out of San Francisco. Will, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Will.
Well, it's good to finally be able to talk to you. This is actually Mr. Pink from the SUPERCHATS. I just wanted to say thank you so much, man, for all the mitigated truth you're willing to put out there into the world, because it needs it. I can tell you on a day-to-day that, especially living here in San Francisco, there's so many people that got this backed-up thoughts about the wrong ways to be, and they're all like wrapped up in their own heads, and it's really tough watching all these people just struggling to identify as something all the time.
Yeah.
And so just I really appreciate you saying what a man is and what a woman is, and what their roles are and how they're supposed to be under God and Jesus, and I just really appreciate that.
Right on, man. And thank you for your support. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. And, if I can answer the biblical question a little bit.
Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people?
I don't know any of my own knowledge, because I know a lot of people that think that they're disadvantaged, and they think, because of their thoughts and what they identify as all the time, they think that they don't have an advantage in this world because they say, I'm something, so I can't be this. And they're comparing themselves to something they can't attain or whatever it is. And if they drop all of that and they realize they can just be who they are, and the world just becomes like so much more clear. And, you say these things every day, and it just rings true, man. So just don't stop saying that.
I won't, man. I appreciate you.
And,
I appreciate your response to the biblical question, and I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. But you don't know any. Did you think that you knew before I asked the question? Did you think that you knew unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Did you think beforehand you knew something?
Well, not until I started processing the things that you say about how, not to compare yourself to other people. I thought that there were all these disadvantaged people out there, but, and they think that too. That was like years ago I used to think like this, but that's before I dropped all the thoughts, and that one thing you say over and over again, don't ever stop saying, all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
Yeah.
That is so real, because if people would drop their thoughts and try to just be in the moment instead of trying to plan for the future and what they expect, life just happens, man.
It really does.
And God provides the way to go.
Yeah.
He provides the way to go. As I'm not going to take up all the time, I just really wanted to say I appreciate you. But can we just for 1 second, I want to give you a good impression of one of our favorite characters, Tony. Hey, Jesse, what do you think the blacks got such a problem? Is it because maybe people like me that can't quite give up their identity as a color? Is that maybe why we can't get past all this anger and frustration? What do you think about that, Jesse?
Tony from California. What a mess.
Amazing.
Nice. Thank you, Will. I appreciate
all right,
it,
Jesse, man. Much love, y'all.
All right.
Appreciate the crew. Have a great night.
All right, you too, buddy. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Tony, what the? Let me go to Chuck out of New Jersey. Chuck, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
All is well, sir.
I was calling about first I wanted to answer your biblical question.
Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, 535 of them.
And what made them unfortunate or disadvantaged?
They're in Congress.
Oh, that's for sure. I agree with you on that one. What the? That is so true, man.
Yeah, the other question, well, not a question, I guess it is. You were talking about illegal aliens. I live here in the Delaware Valley, and we have, for the last 2 weeks, we have an illegal alien that's on the loose. Managed to climb up a wall out of a prison over in Chester County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It was amazing how he climbed that wall, and this guy escaped from prison there in Pennsylvania. and he went out and he climbed the wall. He put feet on one side of the wall and hands on the other wall and went all the way up and went through.
Yeah, and you know, the crazy part about it, where he got out was over in, like I said, in Chester County. There's some famous places over there, Longwood Gardens. They had to shut that down for a day. Some of the schools over there, they shut down. And I was talking to my one of my brothers about it, and I said, this is crazy. This guy gets out. You would think that the police who have dogs would be able to track this guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of the dogs that tracked this guy had a stroke, from what my understanding. It was reported on the news here that the dog passed out trying to track this guy. And I told my brother, I said, you know, got the wrong type of dogs trying to track this guy. Jesse, you from down south, and I'm from South Jersey.
Yeah.
And we used to go hunting. We had hound dogs, coon dogs. You know, a good coon dog.
Yeah.
Coon.
Yeah.
Chase the coon up a tree,
Sure
and if
would.
that coon falls out that tree, that's his butt.
Yeah.
But you know, these dogs that they have in the police department, at least here in the city and in the suburban areas, are not dogs that are made for that type of track. They're sprinters. They sprint into a building to run into an alley, or you know, for a short sprint on somebody that's getting away. But for a guy like this, you need some real dogs. I said, bring up some of those dogs from down south.
Evidently,
know how
man.
to chase.
And I'm
Yes, sir.
surprised how, you know, not only the dog is weak, but I'm surprised how weak the military, the people who are trying to get this guy, how come it's taking so long to find him, one guy? You know what I'm saying? And
think about this.
They reported this morning on one of the news channels that, I believe it was Fox, that this guy, I guess he broke in somebody's house and stole a gun, and the people who were on the house, they were shooting at him. They don't know if he got shot or not, but they guy broke in somebody's house and stole a gun, and he's still on the run.
Broke into several houses, stole a gun, stole some food, and stole the car.
And he is an illegal alien. How is he able to get away like that? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, let me let you in on a little secret. My thinking is this guy made it all the way up there from Brazil through the jungles of South America, across the deserts here in Central America, and the only thing I think that's going to stop him, one, is going to be cold weather, because he came up through warm weather states and warm weather areas. But he's even changed his appearance. If you saw on there, originally he had a full beard, mustache.
Yeah.
And he's changed his appearance. And the guy knows how to survive. So,
Evidently.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He knows how to survive. And that just goes back to, you know, I don't think ill of me. And I said that, you know, this wall that Trump was trying to build, the money would have been better spent building the type of wall that they have, not a wall, but the military zone that they have between North and South Korea. You don't hear about people coming from North Korea down to South Korea through that militarized zone.
Yeah.
And that probably would work, because we have the men and the material to put something like that into use. And then, you know, when I said something about it to some friends, they said, well, they have minefields there. I said, yes, exactly. And they said, well, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong way to think. I said, you know what? You don't see people crossing from North Korea into South Korea. They know that it's a danger zone.
Yeah.
And maybe we ought to employ the same tactic. It would be a lot cheaper, that's for sure.
Well, they want them in our country. That they're deliberately not trying to stop the illegals from coming in, but they're inviting them to come in. They want them in, and they're coming in now from around the world. So it's only going to get worse, Chuck, before it get better. I appreciate your call, man.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thank you for your call, Chuck.
Yep. I'm glad I got it. Made you laugh.
Amazing. Thank you, man.
All right, take care.
All right, now. Ain't that something that's true? The dog that's chasing the guy that escaped from prison and got sick. What the? That dog
Build
been
the wall.
a home dog. I told y'all were weakening the animals. Treated them like they're little children, human beings or something. Manuel is out of California. Manuel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
I wanted to answer the biblical question.
Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people?
I would say no as of now, but in the past, yes. As of now, I'm in a wheelchair, and I get like people all the time telling me like, "Oh, you poor thing," and blah blah blah. And I watched my dad grow up, and he fell off an oil rig 60 feet and landed on his feet and broke like everything to the middle of his back. And he was like the same way. He did not believe he was disabled. He wouldn't let people put a label on it or nothing. I mean, he's 70 something, and he still works to this day. So like, I don't believe in the whole disability. And I mean, I get I'm in a wheelchair, but I don't like let it control me or allow me to not do things. You know, there's so many things that I still do. I still drive.
And so, at one point, you believe that you knew unfortunate or disadvantaged people.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah.
And why did you think that then?
Fallen state. I've gone through a little change of life, and I see things completely different. You know.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I would always like give people an excuse here and there, or like give myself an excuse on top of it. You know, like, oh well, you know, it's because you were, you know, not that good at reading, or you know, oh, it's them because they have a tough life because of what they had to go through because they might have broke their leg, or you know, or have a mental disability. But you know, it's all labels. Like the guy that was just called 2 callers before, he was like dead on it.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Amazing. Well, I would love to have some input on that, but I got to wait until Sunday before I put my little 2 cents in on it.
Right. Can I make a comment about your church this last weekend?
Yes.
That whole thrill thing, man, that was really, really, really on point. So I have a daughter, and how you were saying about like splitting the baby, and it took me like 4 or 5 years. I had this conversation with Hake, but it took me like 4 to 5 years to realize that I was the problem.
Yeah.
I was blaming everything on her and how she's trying to take the child away from me, and I'm doing the best that I can to be a part of this child's life. And then it finally clicked one day that all I'm doing is I'm not trying to be this child's father. I am strictly avoiding being called a deadbeat.
Yeah.
And that was it. There was nothing about my daughter. There was nothing about me putting my daughter before myself. And it took me years to realize that. And it, like when you said that this weekend, like, you know, it's serious. We put our own egos in the way to not be the bad, you know, knowing that all I was doing was bad. I sex out of wedlock. You know, I should have married her. There's a lot of things I should have done, but yeah, I thought I was right. And now I see, like, when you say, like, we don't know what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
That's deep, man. I had another guy tell me that he and his wife were getting a divorce or something, and he had a couple kids. And he went through hell trying to get visitation rights with the kids split at 50-50. He spent a lot of money in court on lawyers and everything. But he finally realized, after listening and paying attention to himself, that, and he thought he was doing it because he loved the kids and he wanted to have, to be there. He didn't want the mother to screw him up. But he realized that he was trying to get his children because he was concerned that other people would call him a deadbeat dad, a deadbeat father. And so he was doing it for that reason. And it wasn't for the real reason it wasn't for the reason he thought it was. And so when he realized that, he stopped. He gave up on it, tried to do it, and he just let whatever happen, happens.
Yeah, it's all about, like, right there, it's just a thrill.
It all for the thrill of it.
Right. I spent over $100,000 in lawyer fees.
Wow.
I went to court once a month for 3 years straight. I don't know how many emergency hearings I've gone through. She's had me arrested saying I was going to kidnap my child. I mean, I had a good job. You know, I didn't care. I just told her, you had sex with the wrong person. I'm going nowhere. And it was a big mistake. You know, like now, I'm still going through hell. It's hard to give up on your child. Like, I know it's the right thing to do, is just to sign my rights away, just let it be. But I'm in a wheelchair now, so it's a little different. We kind of work together a lot better. Like, I go and have dinner with them, but I already know there's still hell that I'm going to have to face, because it's like Labor Day weekend. I'm supposed to keep her all weekend, 4 days. And then, of course, she shows up on Sunday, and it's just like another battle. Like, well, you make an agreement, and then you back down on it. And she's like, well, blah, blah, blah. Just makes up an excuse. But it's the same thing. I'm forcing myself to go through the hell. Like, I already know I'm screwed.
What? And this guy said that the mother of his children lied in court and said that he had molested his children, and it wasn't true at all. But the courts believed it, and so he just let it go. Once he let it go, he became free of it. He feel fine now. But that's crazy, man. And I understand it, that you spent $100,000 trying to get your kids, and you still didn't get them. But just think of the heart of the woman, the mother of your kids or your child, that her heart is so wicked that she would destroy the children and try to destroy you for her own ego gratification, for the thrill of it. It's not about love, because women who mothers, so-called mothers, who are doing those things to the children, don't love the children. It's all about her own ego self. It has nothing to do with the children, because if she loved the children, she wouldn't do anything like that. The fight will be between the two of you, and it will have nothing to do with the kids, and they will let the kids see the father without any problem at all. But her heart is evil, so be glad that she's gone.
Well, she's not gone, but I see the evil in it, you know.
Yeah. And don't ever argue with her about anything. If she's supposed to bring the kids on a Friday, but she doesn't show up until Sunday, just say, oh, okay, thank you, because she want that thrill. The devil tell her, oh, you're supposed to have them there Friday, but don't wait until Sunday. That way he'll be upset, and she'll feel good about it. That's what the evil nature of human beings do. It live off others. They call it life, but it's death. But they do one things to others in order to get a thrill.
Right. Yeah, she just did that last weekend, that Labor Day weekend. I was supposed to keep her till Monday.
Yeah.
And then she showed up Sunday, and I was just like, okay, you know.
Nice.
I don't know why we even agree to Mondays, but, you know, appreciate it. She's like, well, I can leave. I'm like, no, it's fine, you know, like, it's not a big deal. I see her all the time, so.
Yeah. The beauty is you can now see, because once you see, everything changes.
Check this out. One more thing, I'll get off the phone. I'm so afraid to read the Bible, Jesse, because I'm afraid it's going to change me, and I'm going to believe. Before all this, I did not believe one bit of the Bible. One bit. I even married my ex-wife, who was a church-going person. I went to church every weekend just to keep her happy. And I remember I thought it was delusion. And then now I can see I was being delusional.
Hold on, Manuel, can you hold? Let me take a quick break.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. 888, that's amazing. 888-775-3773. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have the sex. You don't wanna be angry. You wanna speak up. You wanna disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear, you won't have doubt, you won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you gotta stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Amazing. So don't forget the Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, not the fake, but the Hake report at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. The guy with the good hair. And after the Hake, Joel Friday TV. Joel Friday TV. He black. Every Tuesday, better known as Arkansas. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. from 11 to 12. And after Joel Friday, flying high with the anchor baby, the American anchor baby, at 12 noon today. Every day except Friday, the American anchor baby's here. On Friday, he's here at 4 p.m. flying high. But not off fentanyls and not off pot, but off natural energy given to him by God. And as Rush Limbaugh used to say, may his soul rest in peace, talent, energy on loan from God. The American anchor baby. Energy on loan from God. Amazing, huh? And don't forget that for personalized shout-outs, birthdays, weddings, encouragement. Speaking of wedding, congratulations to Isaac and Rebecca. Isaac from is getting married. Congratulations. Amazing. Right on, Isaac. Nice. He's on track, too. He got an amazing job. Bought a house at 25, I believe he is, 25 or 26. Now he's getting married. Right on track. Amazing. Amazing. And Isaac is the guy that made the song with a friend of this show, by the way, but made the song with Joel Friday, He Black. Remember that song? Are you able to pull it up?
It's called He Black?
No, I forgot what it's called. They made it, you can find it on YouTube. It's called Groove by Isaac Palmer. Isaac J. Palmer, called Groove. Remember he and Joel Friday made one together? Maybe you don't know about that. If you get it, let me know. That's not it. What the? Anyway, if you get it, let me know. But for personalized shout-outs and all that, birthday, encouragement, weddings, whatever it might be, go to Cameo, CAMEO.com Jesse Lee Peterson. And last but not least, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. By phone, Skype, or walk-in. Phone, Skype, or walk-in. Go to rebuildingdemand.com or call 800-411-BOND. 800-411-2663, and you can make your appointments there. Let me go quickly back to Emmanuel out of Fresno talking about, I forgot. Emmanuel.
Hey.
Where did we leave off? Oh, I remember. You said that you are afraid to read the Bible because it may change you?
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I've realized that, I wouldn't apologize to my parents and all that, for resenting them. But a little before that, I got in an accident, and it made me realize a lot of things. Like, I thought I was a good person, and then I was depressed because, I used to be with a bunch of women, and then, a slut maker. Now, I don't get nothing. And so I was going through a little depression, and I was sad, and I was thinking one day, why am I sad? I did this to every single woman. I cheated on every single woman. I made them feel what I'm feeling now. What you do to others, what you do to yourself, or I think that's how it goes.
That is so true, man. What you do to others, you're doing to yourself.
Right, and it clicked in my head at that exact moment. I was like, wow, I'm a complete phony. And that's when your phony biblical question, that one hit me deep. I realized, wow, I am a fake. So now I just I know if I read the Bible, I know, but if I read the Bible, I'm sure it's all going to make sense, because when you just listening to you, and I've only been listening to you for about a year now, it all makes sense. It's you say, the light shows you, I don't even have to think about it. I just know half the things that are in the Bible that you say are real. They just feel a certain way inside. There's no way that it can't be real like that. What you do to others, what you're doing to yourself. I've heard my mom say that saying over and over and over, and I just laugh. Okay, Bible thumper, whatever you got to say, and I would leave. Yeah. And then now it's whoa, that's reality. If I read the Bible, I might be a Bible thumper. And
the beauty about the Bible is that the whole Bible, a brand new Bible, the whole Bible is already inside of you. The Word of God is within. And if you live from within, you will know the Bible. You'll be guided by the words, the Word, the Spirit, the love of the Father. And you already know the Bible. You already know the truth. It's just that because you went unconscious when you became angry, you forgot the truth. And now that you're becoming conscious again, the mind of God, you will know the truth. You already know the truth. All you have to do is just live. Not in the darkness of the imagination, but above that, and life will be amazing.
Yeah. Everything, I believe everything you said right there. I try to do that, and even just I'm realizing I know the exact moment I got angry and it all changed. I know exactly how I treated my father was terrible. I've lost out so many years on it with my father. I'm wow, I could have had him working for me, but I hated him with my mom's anger. Completely blind.
What a mess! I once was blind, but now I see.
Oh, can you say that song you sing? Something about saving the souls of tomorrow, or the kids of today. I love when you say that, because every time I hear it, I'm wow, dude, someone has got to save these people.
That is from Marvin Gaye. Children today are really gonna suffer. Who really cares? That came from Marvin Gaye. I got to run, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. And I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday about the Bible question.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You too, man. Amazing call. You want to wake up, folks. Believe me, you do. Most people don't know that they want to wake up because they think their hell is them. And so they love the hell that they think belongs to them. And so they look for reasons to stay in hell. All for the thrill of it. Anyone that's into thrills, either somebody making you feel good or feeling anger or going out to attack and get revenge against others, you're in hell. But you call it life. You love your hell. So just suffer and die. It's on you. Jeremy is a first-time call out of Miami, Florida. Jeremy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was calling. I heard the guy was talking about the problems that he had with his family.
Yes.
And trying to get his kids. Well, I've had such a problem here also, is that when my ex left me, she had me facing 20 years in prison with a lie.
Wow.
And then she ran off with the kids. I haven't seen my kids in almost 10, 11 years. You know.
What an evil woman.
It's true. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's true what?
It's true that, you know, the wrong woman can actually, you know, kill a man. Well, not really a man in person, but his drive.
Yeah.
And I was also listening to you a minute ago talk to the guy about scriptures. And that's actually when our relationship started to deteriorate. I started to go back to the church and worship because there were so many different things on my mind.
Yeah.
And I used to be out there, you know, I was out there selling, you know, things that you shouldn't sell and doing all kinds of things to make money, which I never thought that was all that attracted her to me. But once I found God, I stopped that. Then I had problems in my house. And then I said, you know what? I think we should get married because I can't continue to live like this because we weren't married, you know? And I was trying to marry the one who had my kids and all. She turned totally against me. I found out that she was having sex with my customers, with the guy at the grocery store. I had got incarcerated, locked up one time, arrested, and she was supposed to come get me. She left me in there for 4 days.
Wow.
And I was wondering why. I was wondering why I didn't get out. And then I come to find out she went out with the officer that she met when she got there to try to get me out. So she left me in there for the weekend while she went out with him.
What?
You know? Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. Then next thing I know, I was one day, I get a phone call because I showed her the evidence because I went, one day she came knocking back at the door because I had the kids. You know, I had my kids like 4 or 5 days out the week. Sometimes she'll pick them up and sometimes she don't. I don't care because my kids were my life. And one day she came by and she came back knocking on the door real hard like the police. I'm like, when I let her back in, the kids were asleep. I said, what happened? And she's like, oh, I left my phone. That was real strange to me. So the next night, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. She came over that night, and I went, and the phone was locked. So I took the SIM card out, and I put it in my phone. And when I opened it up, the amount of dudes and things I saw, all my friends, everybody, the security guys, everybody, I just uploaded it, and I put it back. And I didn't say nothing. And then the next time we had an argument, I told her, look, it's over. I'm going to child court so that we can split our time up with the kids. And then my fault was I showed her my hand by showing her those pictures.
Yeah.
She told me if I didn't erase those pictures, she was going to F me up. And I was like, what? I said, whatever, go ahead. Next thing I know, I'm getting, a week or so later, I'm getting a call from detectives. He tells me it's in her case about her. I was like, okay, I'll come talk to you, whatever. But something in my mind heart triggered me. I said, let me call one of my customers. He's a lawyer. He said, well, give me the detective's name. So I said, all right, get it. By the time I got there, he had already called the detective. He called me back right as I got to the police station. He told me, Jeremy, they're going to arrest you. And I was like, for what? He was like, because she signed a written affidavit, sworn statement or whatever. So I was like, okay. But I had my kids with me. So I'm like, okay, dang, what do I do with my kids? What do I do with my kids? So I had to go to the daycare, pick my kids up out of daycare because she don't get off till 6. The daycare closed at 4. And I had to drop my kids with my other child's mother because I got 2 sets of kids. And that was a crazy thing. But I had to drop them there, then turn myself in.
What a mess.
Come to find out, she told them I had stole her phone. Okay, they charged me with grand theft of an occupied dwelling and like I robbed her and all this carrying on, you know. And I had a lot of trouble in my past. You know, I'm 50 now, but when I was 20 years old, I was stupid, running around crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I had I went in and out, but I come to find out that case, in Florida, we don't have the 3 strikes you're out. We have like a point system. And my points were already up there, and I never knew that. So what it turned into was now the state offered me 6 years, or we go to trial, and it's 20 years. I was like, man, I ain't taking 6, I ain't taking 5. You know, I didn't do anything. So anyway, long story short, she ended up coming by my house, popping up in the windows, telling me, oh, she don't know what happened and this and that. So I'm on the phone with her sister, who is truly like 15 years older than her. She was like 60-something. And she tells me, you know, don't mess with my sister. We know how you are, Jeremy. We know you love your kids and that, but she's a devil. Don't talk to her.
Yeah.
I said, okay. Yeah. I tried to play wise, better than her sister. So I put a tape recorder in my pocket. And when I went outside, she basically emptied herself in the tape recorder. But I couldn't use that in court because you have to let a person know that you're being recorded in order to use it in court. So she ended up trying to get back with me while I was still facing trial. She said she was going to sign a non-prosecution letter and all this, that, and the third. And then a month before trial, she took my kids and disappeared. You know?
Wow.
And then, and the only thing saved me was I got my cell phone fixed at the time because the whole time she was at my house, she was putting water on my cell phone at night while I was asleep so that it'd mess up. Then I went and got it fixed. And when I got it fixed, they saw the text messages from her while she was at the police station calling me, where she said basically I stole her phone. If I'm going to steal her phone, if she's on her phone at the same time where she said I was texting her. But the prosecution didn't want to give up after they saw all that information, and they still tried me. When I went to court, they said, look, you can either sign this for plea to this misdemeanor of a petty theft, because during the argument, I had broke her earpiece. They got caught in my shirt, and she would claim, I need to pay her for her earpiece. They said, you can either go and get the misdemeanor charge for this earpiece, or we'll go back in the courtroom and you'll see what happens for 20 years. I took the misdemeanor because I had kids. My daughter was ready to graduate. I didn't want to sit there and play with my life because, one, I'm an ex-con. They favor women in court.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in there, even though I was telling the truth, and mess around and get banned, and now I'm in jail for 20 years, you know? Amazing. So I ended up getting out of all of that. I'm still living through.
How many children you have with her?
2.
Wow. And you're still living through what?
I'm still living through all of this that she's actually done to me. You know, I haven't seen my kids yet. It kind of hurt me when I went back to court, because when I went to court, everybody was on her side. Nobody believed anything I was going to say.
Yeah.
Just because I had a felony on my record, which none of the felonies I actually did. I just plead out to them because I didn't have enough money to actually afford a lawyer to fight anything.
Well, that
was one I did.
That wasn't the only reason they didn't believe. They didn't believe me because you were a man, and the courts do not support men at all now. The woman can lie. She can do whatever she wants. and you'll go in court totally innocent, and they'll still take her side over you.
Yeah. And see, that's when I started really looking to the laws and different things. Because I even went down, because see, we had domestic problems before to the extent that they gave me, the domestic violence people came to me and asked me if they wanted me to move and take my kids somewhere because she was the aggressor.
Wow.
Okay? I played, us men, we like to be macho in those situations. But when it comes to your woman acting crazy, call the police, let them handle it. Because when it comes to you, she's going to go full throttle.
Yeah, that's what I tell men now. Call the cop. The moment she go crazy on you, whether she hit you or talk crazy, call the cop. And let her go to jail and don't bail her out or anything. Leave her there. And these laws that they were passed against men would now be applied to the woman if the men were to call to have them arrested.
Exactly. Like in 2012, I think it was 2012, 2010, Obama brought out this Violence Against Women Act. And what that basically states is that you used to have a history of domestic violence before they act. But since the Violence Against Women Act came out, she has to have no history. You could be living with your wife fine all day for 15, 20 years, and she wants to leave you. Yeah. She can call down there, say she's threatened by you. They will take her and your kids and move them away. And she get a divorce, and you end up paying through the nose and doing whatever with no evidence at all.
What a mess!
I didn't know all this.
Well, they definitely have, in our country today, they definitely have made it easy for women to be evil because women are more violent against men than men are against women.
Exactly.
It's the other way around, but they try to make it seem like it's the man.
Yeah. But,
so let me ask, are you angry at her?
For a long time, yes, I was so angry. I didn't sleep for a long time because you can imagine you have kids all over the house, jumping and screaming, and all of a sudden you go to silence.
Yeah.
And you come home and all the toys are there, their room is there full of everything they had, and you don't see them. And that would kill me when I came home every day. And the thing is, she didn't even care about my kids. Because she had 2 kids when I met her, and she didn't care about them. Okay? When I first met her, she didn't raise her first son. And then her second son, she always left at her sister's house. Because after dating her for a while, I'm like, where's your son? Oh, he's at my sister's house. He's always at your sister's house. I'm like, okay. I didn't pick it up then.
Yeah.
But then when we first moved in together, the youngest son came with us, and I was like, what about your oldest son? He's like, nah, he was raised basically by my sister, so, I let him stay with her. I was like, that's your child. What do you mean your child going to stay with your sister? I don't understand that, right?
So why did you get involved? Why did you get involved with a woman with children and acting that way?
Well, at first, I didn't get all of that, but...
Jeremy, can you hold on?
She what?
Can you hold for me? Okay, hold on. I got to take a break. 1 more hour to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh well, You may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. The Libya flooding that I mentioned. Whew. A new iPhone reveal probably today. Evil Joe Biden talking about terrorism and 9/11. And based Drew Barrymore defying the strike, the writer's strike. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Country and Western Tuesday, September 12th, not July. September 12th, 2023 AD. Where am I? When am I? Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hour of JLP is coming right up, guys. There is one line open. You can call in to get on hold to get on air with JLP, and he will get right back to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. And after the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, we do have the Hake Report live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 11 to 1 Central, noon to 2 Eastern. And of course, right after Hake today, it's Joel Friday on Tuesdays, Joel Friday TV on YouTube. Check them out. Always fun and deep and exciting and interesting. Joel Friday TV. He says stuff that I wouldn't say. And I would say a lot. And then, of course, after Joel Friday TV, American Anchor Baby. Tomorrow is going to be Wow Hassan, Walking on Water with Hassan, right after Hake. Catastrophic Libya flooding. At least 2,000 people have died and thousands more missing in Libya amid catastrophic flooding. Destroyed 2 dams and swept away neighborhoods. Swept them away. A health minister in the region described parts of the worst-hit city of Derna as a ghost town. The rain is the result of a very strong low-pressure system that brought extreme flooding to Greece last week. Moved to the Mediterranean before developing into a tropical-like cyclone. Several countries have sent their condolences and offered aid to Libya as rescue teams scramble to find survivors under the debris and rubble. Wow. Are they unfortunate or disadvantaged people? I don't know. That's a reference to JLP's biblical question of the week. New iPhone reveal today? Whatever. They may do the USB-C thing. USB-C charging instead of the lightning thing. So maybe it'll... I heard that's from the EU, forced by the EU, according to American Anchor Baby, who knows stuff. And Evil Joe. Here's a quote from Evil Joe, corrupt Joe Biden, crooked Joe. Terrorism, including political and ideological violence, is the opposite of what we stand for as a nation, says lying, crooked, so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden, delivering a speech Monday to U.S. service members on the 22nd anniversary of September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. I think he was up in Alaska, of all places. The so-called president called on so-called Americans to, quote, protect our democracy. It's not a democracy. And not succumb to the poisonous politics of difference and division. What a dumb statement, huh? All around dumb, evil statement. Anyway, don't say dumb too much, kids. Based Drew Barrymore. Who's not taking one for the team? Drew Barrymore. You know, the actress woman. The talk show host and actress is under fire for resuming her daytime talk show without its writers amid SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes. Writers Guild of America, I guess. Writers Guild Against America. Over the weekend, Drew Barrymore announced the Drew Barrymore Show would come back on CBS after it wrapped in April. I guess they're in their 4th season. It's a different tune from May when Barrymore stepped away from hosting the MTV and TV Awards to support the strikers. Because she's a feel-good, nicey nice gal. But she's not into victimhood like these people are. People are. She wasn't that into the so-called Me Too movement for that reason, I heard. I'll tell you about her on the Hake Report if you want to tune in. She's facing criticism from actors, writers, and the union. WGA said that the show is covered by the union and any writing on the Drew Barrymore Show is a violation of WGA strike rules. But maybe she's kind of like JLP in that she is spontaneous and just speaks from the heart and converses as the conversation goes and doesn't rely on writers. Am I right? Maybe? On Sunday, Drew Barrymore said, I own this choice. But as the strikes go on, you know the communist union strikes, right? Communist unions versus commie capitalist corporations. Other talk shows are turning the lights back on, according to the far left ladies at the Skim. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. There is a line open, one, if you want to jump in there real fast. We're going to get to all the calls. You can call 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. My biblical question, do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any unfortunate or disadvantaged people? Do you know any? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And don't forget, anywhere in the world, if you're busy, you can't watch the show live as it is happening here, you can podcast, but you can also listen to it on your iPhone or iPad while you're busy by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk, on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. We're on cozy.tv and Rumble. cozy.tv/JLP and rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Like, follow, subscribe, and all those good things. And thank you all for your support. We got a lot to do, believe me. So I appreciate those who are, especially those who are getting help, you're giving back. Thank you, and those who are helping. It's Tuesday. It's the last hour of the show today. It is Country and Western Tuesday. Yeehaw! It's amazing how you had me take my hat off like that. What the? How did you do that, man? Hassan did this. The great talented W.O.W. Wow, Hassan. Every Wednesday. What a mess! How did I fall into that? Beta! What the? Who let the dogs out? Amazing! Amazing! The talent, one and only Hassan. Check out Hassan's show now on this network every Wednesday at 11 a.m. It's called Wow, W-O-W, Hassan, with the two S's, as Hake would say, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. He's a Jew now. He's Asian. I mean, he's Jewish. He's Allahu Abba. He is white. and he's black. You got the whole thing going on. Let me go quickly back to Jeremy, a first-time call out of Miami, talking about the situation he went through with his ex and his children, and it was a mess. It was evil. Jeremy, I asked just before the break, why did you get involved with that woman, knowing in advance she already had children and the way she was treating them?
Oh, well, in advance, I didn't know the part on how she was treating her children until we had, gotten basically involved. And that it happened because I wasn't thinking with my whole mind.
Yeah.
And I listen to your show a lot, and what you say about the man and the woman is exactly true. I was talking to my mother last night, and it's funny how I got you on the phone. And I can't talk to my mom.
Yeah.
She's so irrational. And I'm used to speaking to my father because I was raised in a home with the father and the mother. And that's the one reason I got into so much. I can't get used to this. Your kids over here. That's something I didn't know. That's not my world. But I'm used to talking to my father. But my father, he has Alzheimer's now, and he's in a home, so I can't talk to him. And last night I was on the phone with my mom, and I told my mom, I said, look, anytime we have any problems, because I can't talk to you about my problems, I said, you know what we do? We put them in a bag, and we give them to God. Because he said to throw our burdens on him.
Yeah.
Because seeing how I can't talk to you and express myself about all the things going on with me, because I don't want my mom to get upset because she has cancer, and when she starts to worry, that brings back the cancer. So I can't tell anybody anything. And then funny, I came out the house, I pressed her number, and I was able to at least release some of the stuff built up in me.
Amazing.
You understand? So that worked out in my favor, and I just thought about that. But why I got involved with her, I gave her a chance because I figured, people change, but when we first got together, I really wasn't trying to be a Christian, if you understand what I mean. So that didn't come until after the first kid came, the second kid came,
Amazing.
I got a revelation, and I wanted to start, back on my Christian path. And I said I couldn't do it with living with a woman and dealing things,
Yeah.
So I stopped that. That became a problem, and then I told her I wanted to get married, so we can do this right. And that's what stirred all the other stuff that led up to what happened before. She basically was intending on burying me and leaving me in prison while she run off with the kids. And I come to find out later that her first child's father was in prison for 20-something years, and he never seen him. And then the second child, she also tried to do the same with the second child.
Wow.
I didn't know all of this until after the fact. Her sister told me. And, it's really sad how, this government is so bent one way. If the laws are the laws, they're the laws for both people. It doesn't matter if this one is a woman, this one is a man. If you're going to be equal, it should be one law. It should be no special laws for them and the regular laws for us, because that's not equal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that's where we ended up.
So let me ask, are you angry at her?
Am I angry at her? Not anymore. Not anymore. But I also started to appreciate that she did leave. Because I was that angry that she needed to be away from me,
And are you angry at yourself?
Angry at myself. That's where it ended. At first it was anger at her, then I turned to anger on myself. It was me that got myself in that situation by not listening to my parents and not following Bible principles. Okay? Find a wife, get married, then kids. She wasn't my wife. I went with her, had kids, and it didn't turn out to get married, and now this whole shebang. So it's really all my fault. I'm not going to be like Adam, and blame it on the woman, because you can't do that.
And so are you still angry at yourself? Are you still angry at yourself?
Yeah, kind of. I still am. A little angry. I still am angry with myself.
And why?
My fault.
And why?
I'm angry at myself because Well, because I put innocent people, to suffer a life that they shouldn't have had a chance to because of a mistake I made.
You mean your children?
Okay, I mean my children. I think every day of what could be happening to my boys. Is somebody molesting them, or is anything happening to them? I have 2 girls also. And tell you, and I raised my first daughter. She was with me in the church. After that with her. And I raised my daughter. She was a 26-year-old virgin until she got married, and now she lives in Orlando. She has a nice husband and everything. And she's doing well for herself. I have a 16-year-old daughter that I'm doing the same with.
Nice.
I train my kids very good.
So let me
that's basically how I trained up.
Let me
but
ask
the
this.
thing is,
let me ask this.
we have to.
Who is the self that you're angry at?
Who is the self?
You say you're angry at yourself. Who is the self? Describe the self that you're angry at.
I'm like I said, I'm angry for.
But who is the self that you're angry at?
Who is the self?
Yeah,
it's me. I'm the self.
And how are you the self?
It's my actions. My actions.
Did you make any of those decisions to get with this woman? Already had children. You kind of saw what she was doing with the children. You found out more later, but did you make any of those decisions?
Yeah, I made all of those decisions.
And how did you make them?
I just really didn't make a decision. I just went with the flow.
And who made the decision if it wasn't you making the decision?
Yeah, it was her. Basically, I was following the woman.
And who made the decision in you to follow the woman?
I did.
And how did you make that
I
decision?
don't understand.
Jeremy, let me just say this to you. I would encourage you to drop the anger toward yourself and her and anything, right? Anyone. Because the anger is what keeping you in darkness. Anger is evil, and anger will lead you right into more trouble. You'll repeat the same thing or even worse with another woman, right? Because it's not you that's making those decisions. It never has been you, and it never was you. You were limited due to anger. You were limited your imagination. And you've heard me say that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Those thoughts were making those decisions, and it sounded like you, and it felt like it was you, but it was not. You were listening to evil and calling it you. It was never you.
You're correct on that.
And now you're angry because they have told you, the thoughts have told you, you did that. You made that decision. Now you're mad at yourself, but you're still worshiping evil when you do that. You need to see that it was never you at all. We, as human beings, cannot make decisions. We don't make decisions. We never have. We never will. We never ain't. All decisions in that fallen state come from evil, and when you forgive and overcome that fallen state, all decisions come from God. We are incapable of making decisions.
Wow.
And the way that you're going to overcome the fallen state, you got to forgive your mother for imposing her will on you and recreating her image, because that mindset is that of your mother. And her mindset is of the devil. It's not even her. It's the devil that's in her, because she has anger against her mother. And that's why you can't communicate with her, because her mindset, the mindset you have is her mindset. And she had been led by the devil thinking that it's her.
Wow.
You got to forgive your mother for turning you away from your father like that, and forgive your father for not protecting you from her. He couldn't help it, right?
Yeah.
And then God will forgive you, and he's going to change your mindset from darkness to light, which is his mindset. And from that point forward, everything will always be clear to you, because the light of God will be guiding you.
And that's funny. I've always heard you say that to other people, but now you're saying it to me. It feels, and everything you're saying is basically, just about true, And I started after listening to your show, I started paying attention to the things my mom was telling me. And every time she gives me advice, if I follow it, it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like I didn't listen to myself. Okay, when she took my kids, I had the kids that evening, and I picked them up. And my oldest son, my little son, he goes, "Hey, mommy, don't have no furniture in the house. She took all the furniture." So I was like, well, maybe she's moving to another apartment or something. And I was thinking, I said, man, I'm gonna keep my kids until I figure this out, because she acting strange. I get on the phone, I talk to my mom. My mom goes, "Nah, Jeremy, go and give those kids back to their mama. This and that." And I said, "Mom, something's not right." I gave the kids back. I never seen them again.
See that? Every time the man listens to the woman, he suffers. Every time.
Yeah.
That's what Adam did. Adam listened to the woman, and the woman became his God. He suffered for that. That's why a man is not supposed to listen to the woman, not even his mama.
Right about that.
So you got to forgive your mama, go to her and just say, you know what? Once you see it clearly for yourself, I've been resenting you. I realize now you can't help it. I'm sorry for resenting you. And then don't let the devil tell you, oh, don't apologize because she got cancer. Don't do that. Your mother got cancer because of her own hell. It had nothing to do with you, right? You forgive her without any expectation, and God will forgive you, and you would never have to tell a woman your problems again. And everything would change, but you gotta, and that woman that took your kids, she's insane. She's evil. Based on what you said, she's evil. She can't help herself either. The devil has hold of her, and she hates men, she hates children, and she's going around the earth trying to destroy, because the devil is working through her, and she's going around trying to gather every soul she can to destroy them.
Yeah.
And so don't be angry at her so you don't ever repeat that again, too.
Yeah. I really haven't had another girlfriend or woman of interest since.
Yeah.
Then, because I've started to actually reacclaim my faith, and I've taught, now I'm older, I'm saying, I don't put myself in those positions anymore. And I don't look to date, I look to marry. It's I just changed my whole thing of looking. So I really haven't been looking for anybody, because right now I can't support a woman, so I don't look for a woman.
Well, you're doing the right thing now. You're working on all this hell that you've gone through has brought you to the point where you finally say, you know what, let me work on me. Let me see what's going on with me. Why do I keep repeating the same thing? What is wrong here? Once you start questioning it and working on yourself, everything's going to change. And you're going to finally have the natural life that God created you to have. It's going to happen but you got to work on you, forgive your mother, and don't have any expectation. If she apologizes, fine. If she doesn't, fine. God will forgive you. And are you doing the silent prayer yet?
That's actually what I did last night.
Wow, amazing!
That's what I was telling you. That's what I was telling you about, basically. Yeah,
that's amazing.
I did that last night, and that was funny. I said I punched the number this morning, and I actually got through. I was like, I never called you before in my life. I just always listened to your show.
It was meant to be.
I was like, wow.
And what was your impression of the silent prayer?
It looked like it worked.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I want to keep that up.
Yeah, stay with it. I've been doing it for 34 years now. Every morning, every night. I don't care how late it is or how early I have to get up. I stay with it, and it's amazing what you start to see and how you start to overcome the ego. The light of God will destroy the darkness of the devil, which is of the imagination, thoughts, and feelings. All that stuff is just evil.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you're right.
So work on you, man, and you ever see anything. It's just going to get better and better and better for you. Amazing testimony, though. It's just mind-blowing what the woman can do to the man.
Yeah, and I thank you for being a listening ear, because that's something that I hardly talk to anybody. Some people know my situation, but I don't get a chance to talk about it, and sometimes people need to talk about this situation, and not with these psychiatrist people. I mean, with somebody with some type of Bible intellect that will understand and see those things, because that's the only way you can actually know the truth is with those who actually indulge themselves in truth, and not just sitting around getting paid to listen to you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, and the way that you see where I'm coming from is that God in you is allowing you to see it, and in seeing it, He's changing from the abnormal to the norm. So He's with you, and His voice is the voiceless voice. It's the light He revealed to you. He doesn't talk to you in your head. He doesn't talk to you in your emotions, those emotions. He talked to you by allowing you to see. That's the voiceless voice. When you can see what's going on inside of you, that is the voice of God. So you stay with the prayer, man. You're going to be fine.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate
it. And don't worry about your kids, because now that you're working on you, anything is possible. They can end up back with you, and that woman never, you don't want her back anyway, but they can end up with you. Yeah. But don't do it for that reason. You do it because you want to be right. You want to be on the right side of love, on the right side of life, and everything will work out for you.
Now, on that note, I'm sorry, I'm going to let this short, but on that note, with my children, basically, I wanted to teach them about God, because that's also something that you have to do with your children. I did that with my two daughters, but I haven't been because I haven't been in contact with my two boys. Okay? Well, now, that's what I'm worried about, is their salvation.
Well, don't worry about that. No, as the father is changing, the children will change. Don't worry about that. And now when you see them, you're going to be not only be able to speak to them in the right way about God, but you're going to be the light. You're going to be a living example, and they will see the Father in you, and that will draw them unto you.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Don't listen to the devil. Don't let the devil tell you, oh, you don't have them. You can't teach them about God. All thoughts are all lies all the time. Pay no attention to that, and you continue to work on you, and the light will do the rest.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Okay. Good day, man.
All right.
Good day.
All right. You too,
all
man.
Right,
bye now. Amazing. A man ain't safe in the court system no more. They'll get you. You're wasting your time, your energy, and your money. Don't cut the baby in half. Let her have them. Because you're going to get them anyway, and you'll still be broke, and you'll still be hurt, and you'll still be this and that. It'll work out. Don't cut the baby in half. Do not cut the baby in half. And guys, stay away from women with children. And don't be, oh, well, she got children. She didn't know. Let me give her another chance. That's Satan talking to you. He's setting you up. That doesn't mean you can't point the right way for them, but don't you get involved. It will destroy you. And ladies, don't get involved with men with children. It will destroy you. You ain't the mama to his children. And the moment he want to be with his children, you're going to be jealous. And that's when all the hell going to come out, and you're going to destroy his children. It ain't meant to be that way. Don't try to make something that is not meant to be. It can't happen that way. Come out of your jail cell, because all you're doing is going around in circles, listening to the devil, thinking that it's the next thing is going to be right, and it won't be. The answer is not in the thoughts. The answer is away from the thoughts. Overcome the thought. You got the answer. It's not in your emotions because the emotions are not your own. Emotions are evil. They come from thoughts. If you want the answer, get away from thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Isn't that amazing? Let me go to Minnesota and talk to a first-time caller, Nadiso. Nadiso. Is it Nadiso?
Hi. Hi, Jesse.
Hi, is it Nadiso?
It's Nadifo.
Okay.
Nadifo.
How do you spell it?
Nadifo.
Okay, Nadifo. Okay, thanks for calling. You're on the air.
All right. Hey, okay, Jesse, I watch you a lot, and I think you're really funny.
Thank you.
You're so funny. But, like, listen, Jesse, why did you call Ilhan Omar a dirty refugee?
Because that's what she is.
But I'm also a refugee, and I'm Somali.
But you're not Ilhan Omar, though.
I know, but, like, you can just disagree with her as her and not call her that, you know? Like, there's ways to...
That's what?
There's ways to, like, disagree with people and be like, oh, they're a terrible person. Their policies are terrible.
You're right about
not call
that.
them.
You're right,
Yeah.
but she's evil. How about that?
Yeah, it's okay. I agree with that.
Yeah, and the reason I call her a dirty refugee because I want you to think about this if you haven't already thought about it. This woman was rescued by our country.
Yes.
She said that she was over there, she needed to be rescued, and they brought her here, and they made a horrible mistake about allowing her to be a part of our government. And what does she do? She turned against the country. That's
She turned
evil.
against the country. That's true.
That's evil.
We all know that. We all know. You can't come to a country and then do things that go against the country that has given you everything you needed, given you everything you wanted. And if the system is working, if the system is not broken, don't fix it, right?
That's right. If it's fine, she should be trying to make the country even better rather than going against the country.
Yes, I agree. Also, another thing I disagree with you on is...
Well, hold that thought. Don't forget. But I wanted to make this point. When I become president, I'm shipping her back to wherever she came from.
Okay.
She got to go.
Okay.
She leaving
She
here.
gotta go. She gotta go.
What do you
also,
think?
I'm Somali, and Somali people don't like her. You know that? They don't like her.
I can understand why.
Because they hate homosexuals.
Uh-huh.
You know homosexuals?
Yep.
And she supports homosexuality. So they're like, as soon as she did that, they all turned against her. They all said, she's this, she's that, she's vile, she's disgusting, she's a terrible person. We don't want anything to do with her. So they're not going to vote for her or anything like that, you know?
Oh, good.
They're against her.
Do they, did you hear when she said that, Ilhan Omar said that she was more fearful of white men? Oh, she said something like, and I don't have an exact quote, but we did report on it. She said we should be more fearful of white men than, and she talked about systemic racism, and she hated America and all that mess. Do you agree with her that she should be more afraid of white men?
No, I don't. White men have not really done anything to anybody for a long time, so...
If it wasn't for white men, she would. But also, if it wasn't for white men, she wouldn't be in this country.
Yeah, but white men took a lot from society, but they also gave a lot to society. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
When they took a lot, I'm saying they colonized and they enslaved, but they also gave a lot.
Well, they didn't take a lot. They didn't take a lot at all. The other person lost. He lost the battle. Hold on for a minute. Can you hold on?
Yeah, I can.
Let me take a quick break. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. notice after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-775-3773. The treasure chest is now open, by the way, on D Live. Hake is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake Report.com. And also at from 9 to 11, the Hake Report.com. And then from 11 to 12 Pacific time, Joel Friday every Tuesday. He black. Joel Friday TV. He black. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. At 12 noon, so a busy day today. A busy day today. Check out our merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. Amazing merch there. Coffee mugs, hoodies, all kind of amazing awakening sayings. The Great White Hope hoodie is there. Everything is there. All right, rebuildingtheman.com/store. Let me go back to Nadiso, a first-time call out of Minnesota. Hey, Nadiso.
Hi, Jesse.
You know what I realized while I was on break is that Minnesota, they have all kinds of Somalians there now, right?
You know what, Jesse? I have lived in Washington State for a while, and I came to Minnesota. And what I've noticed is that Somali people live in Minneapolis and St. Paul usually, and it looks like a third world country. And I am very disappointed in my people. I'm very, very, very disappointed in them. For them to call everybody who speaks out on what they're doing a racist or Islamophobe is terrible.
Yeah.
And while I was living here, I got run over with a cart by a racist white man.
Uh-huh.
And he called me a nigger and stuff like that. And I've also had people be like, I've also had other things said to me, and a lot of this anger comes from people just being angry that they have to pay so much taxes, so much money that they have to the Somalis, and they have to give them welfare. And while they don't really contribute that much to society, it comes from that. That anger comes from that,
Well, anger doesn't come from that, but if you're already angry, you will find yourself overreacting to that, because all angry people have fear, and so when you're angry, you can't help but have fear, and when you have fear, you can't help but overreact. Let me ask. I remember we reported one time that in Minnesota, the Allah Abba people put up this bell thing that they have to. Yeah, they have to ring when they get. You know how they pray outside every day, real loud, or whatever they do.
Allah.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
What the?
Ashhadu.
And so
Okay. Jesse.
They put this bell thing up that they have to ring it so the whole state can hear.
I have another question to ask you, Jesse.
What?
So, in another video, Jesse, listen, I don't disagree with everything you say. It's just the way you say it, okay? So there's another video out there that you were talking about how women are begging to be raped.
Stay close to your phone. Stay close to your phone.
Yeah, you said how women are begging to be raped based on how they dress.
Yes.
But Jesse, you have to understand. You have to understand, Jesse, that right and wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Right.
Pinning somebody down and forcibly penetrating them is wrong. Okay?
Right.
Women dressing provocatively, they should, women are much weaker than men. They should, kind of stay home, not go outside in the middle of the night, maybe not wear booty shorts, maybe not have their, breasts sticking out. They need to do stuff like that to make sure that they can lower the chances of them being raped. But being raped is still wrong.
Right.
And it's still the man's fault.
Right.
You could do things to prevent it, but it's still the man's fault 100%.
And you're right about that. It's the man's fault that he raped the woman, but it's the woman's fault that she was begging to be raped. That's why she wear those things. That's why
you shouldn't use the word begging. You should say she should cover herself a little bit more.
No, she doesn't cover herself because she wants to be raped. And then most of the time, it's not even rape. It's just that she get mad and she'll call it that to get back at the guy. But most of the time, women don't get raped. But they just say that because they get angry and they want some attention.
Is that so? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it's wrong for her to accuse the man of raping her when it really wasn't rape.
I didn't know that women accuse men of being raping them that much. I didn't know.
All the time, especially in colleges, but all the time.
I do remember a man being accused, and then he was locked up, and he got let out a long time after.
99.9% of the time, when a woman accuses a man of raping, she's lying.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 99 point. So do you agree with me that when women dress like that, they're asking to be raped?
I think men are very visual creatures, so I think it's just better to cover up.
And so do you agree with me that when women dress like that, they're asking to be raped?
I don't know about asking.
But that's why they dress like that. Why else? There's
because
no
I'm a
other.
Woman. I'm not gonna go against my own kind. That's terrible.
But why would you tell them the truth if you love them?
I will tell black people the truth. I will tell women the truth. I will tell Somalis the truth.
Would you tell the truth that then when they dress like that, they're begging to be raped?
Okay, I will. Okay, Jesse.
What?
When you say there's no such thing as racism, sexism, deadbeatism.
Right.
What do you mean by that, sir?
That doesn't exist. Those are just made up words to cover up evil. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a battle between good and evil. It's evil when other people don't treat others the way they would like to be treated. Evil is not racism.
Okay.
Have you?
Thank you, Jesse. That's all I wanted to ask.
Let me ask real fast. Have you forgiven your mother?
I'm working on it.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm still working on it, but yes.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, I have.
But if you have, what are you working on then?
Just the memories.
Have you gone to her, forgiven her?
Yes, I have. I have told her many times I forgive her.
And what memory? Why do you still have memories then if you have forgiven her?
I forgive her, but memories, they come and you can't control them, right?
Well, you have to let them go. Don't hold on to them. Eventually, they won't come anymore.
Just let them flow through you and until they won't come?
Right. Just let them flow through you. And if you just watch them, knowing that they're not your thoughts at all and it's not you, eventually they'll get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, and then they'll fade away because it's of the devil and he has to leave your mind. He has to depart from you. And
okay, I will do that.
And there will be no memory. So are you doing the silent prayer?
No, I'm not Christian.
Well, you don't have to be a Christian. Do the silent prayer. Do your little Allah Abba thing, and then when you're done,
Allah. Can I do it, please? Can I do it? It would be funny.
But let me tell you this first. When you're done with that, be still and know God, and He'll take away all of those imaginations.
Okay, but can I do it?
Yes.
Okay. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
What the?
Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah.
What the?
And so why do you worship the devil like that?
No, I don't do that. I'm just saying.
Oh, so you don't do it?
I don't say that.
Come on, man.
Only when they're praying. When they're praying, they say that.
Oh, are you a Christian? You're not a Christian. You're not an Allah Abba person. So what religion you belong to?
I'm not religious.
Oh, you're atheist?
Nope.
Are you? So you what?
I am a liberal person.
Yeah. So you're of the devil.
Oh, come on. No, I mean, I'm very progressive. That's what I mean.
So you're of the devil.
No, not liberal. I'm progressive. Does that make sense? You know David Paxton when you interviewed him?
That's the same thing. A liberal is a progressive person.
David Paxton. You asked him, David Paxton, are you a liberal? He said, I'm not really a liberal. I'm a progressive. Along those lines, right?
But a progressive mean liberal. They used to call that a liberal. Now they changed it to progressive. But it's the same wicked spirit. But you know what? I got to run. I'm looking at... Will you call me again?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Bye, Jesse.
Good talking to you, all right?
Bye.
Bye now. Amazing. Super chat. 888-77-53773. PBS says that Minneapolis became the first major U.S. city to broadcast Islamic call to prayer 5 times a day. Can you imagine living there hearing that 5 times? Like, what? I'm trying to sleep.
Horrifying. 5?
5 times a day.
What the?
What the? Super chat.
Elias Leal bought 5 coffees. Jesse, Americans can't win for losing in America, especially white folks.
I know. They could win if they weren't afraid, if they didn't have fear, but due to the fear, you're absolutely right.
Terrible shame.
Yeah.
Delilah Sion, that is, speaks out, bought 3 coffees. Jesse, does voting count? Hotels, customer service have gone downhill. Property managers who say they put to run the places, most of them are angry black women and crazy white liberals. The white people who are the ones condoning this, they are the ones condoning this. They want this country to fall. They don't want this country to come back. America is now heading to a depression. If not Kamala, they'll put some woman in there one day Who is going to stop them?
Amazing. And you
I read it in worse broken English than she wrote it. She wrote it better than I read it. I apologize.
See, you're absolutely right in that service today is awful. I remember when businesses took pride in giving amazing service. They train their employees how to serve in a cafe, how to be polite, but it's a mess. No matter where you go now, the bank, the post office, restaurants, gas stations, everybody's on the edge. And they don't care. Service is bad. Contractors, you hire contractors, they don't do good jobs anymore. I heard so many people complain about the contractor that they hire. It's a mess. I want my country back, CI, but I already know it's not coming back. So I have to totally rely on my world within me. I am my world. So are you, each individual. Amazing. Thank you, CI.
That handyman donated on Rumble. Generous Rumble rant donation. Pot helps cancer patients going through chemo/radiation with the ability to eat. Long-term or daily use of pot I'd avoid.
Yeah. But it doesn't heal.
Right. It just helps them get the munchies.
Right. So that's the point I was trying to make with the caller. It doesn't heal. Amazing. Thank you.
Stan69 donated a diamond on D-Live. JLP with his Indiana Jones hat out west hunting. Squirrel emoji.
Nice. That's right. Amazing. Thank you.
Stan69 with another diamond. What happened to Cowboy Jesse? That ego died. Rest in peace. R.I.P.
Amazing.
Hannes O'Callaghan. I always stumble over his Irish name, I guess. Does your Entrepreneurs Academy accept international applications? I am sticking with the silent prayer, morning and night and in between, and slowly but surely relaxing in all aspects of life. Here I am. I realize I can do no other. God bless you, Jesse and crew. God bless your work for spreading God's light.
Amazing. Yeah, we do. Send it to Rebuilding the Man. No, not Rebuilding the Man. Rebuildingtheman.com.
Yeah, there's a contact page on rebuildingtheman.com.
Yes.
Or just bond@bondinfo.org.
Right. Send it there. Just one little page about the type of business, why we should select you, and blah, blah, blah.
All the way from Ireland.
Amazing. Some of you may know, but the new people may not know. I started this nonprofit like 34 years. 1970 is how many years?
1970?
I mean
1990. That is 33 and a half years.
Yeah, 33 and a half years ago, we started a nonprofit. We were rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. And in there, we have an entrepreneur academy where we help men start businesses, or if they already have a business, we show them how to enhance it in a simple way. And we started a credit union because some of these guys, that mama, especially the black mama, but they mess up your credit when you're a kid. They go out and get credit, your name, here you 5 years old, don't even know it. And then when you get 18, you want to start a business, you can't, because mama messed up your credit.
I'd never heard of that until coming here.
And so we loan them the money, and they pay it back so we can keep the credit union going. And we tutor, we counsel, all kind of stuff, all right? So that's what he was talking about, the Entrepreneur Academy. Check it out at rebuildingtheman.com or bondinfo.org, right? Bond. Something.
Yeah.
Rebuildingtheman.com.
Retro Memento bought a coffee. Hi, Jesse. Where is little Jesse's country western poncho? As a dollhouse museum curator, I found it a perfect accessory for your amazing doll. Have a beautiful day. Hug emoji.
Thank you. Well, we still have it here. It's just that when I grew up in Alabama, I didn't even know Mexicans existed. Do you know I didn't know Mexicans existed?
It would make sense. You're in the South. I would have been surprised to hear that Mexicans were over in that part of the South.
It reminded me of the white people that used to never grow up around black people. They didn't know what a black was like. And so I didn't know Mexicans this. So I didn't wear the poncho thing and all that stuff. That's a Mexican thing. But we have it because a friend of Bond keep giving it to us. So we got to change up Jesse sometimes. But we just can't put it all here and look too clustered. But so you'll be seeing it again. Thank you.
Your Fallen State guest from like a year ago, LFR family, Van Hall.
Yeah.
He didn't know white people existed because he grew up in like D.C. or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I didn't know Mexicans existed until I went to Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And then I didn't know so many existed until I came here.
True.
I was like, what the? I was like, Mommy, what's that? She's like, be quiet. Punchy, that's a Mexican.
It sounds made up.
Yeah, that was made up.
Mr. J.
I just want to say next week, the Cowboy Jesse might have an alpha cigar.
See that?
So you never know.
That's funny.
I remember when white people used to want to touch the black people's hair.
And now that's taboo. You're not supposed to do that. It's racist.
When I went up to Indiana, and I went to school up there for a year at Edison High School, by the way. And the white people used to say, the white kids used to say to the black, "Oh, your hair look interesting. Can I touch your hair? It look kind of rough." And they would like touch it like this. But it's interesting that the blacks didn't get mad about that during the day.
Yep.
They just thought it was funny.
Yeah. It's a different world.
Yeah. Now if your white folk want to touch your hair, it's racism. What a mess. Anyway.
Mr. J on YouTube says, I had a cell phone thrown in my face and busted my eye. Lots of laughs, LOL. She punched me like 10 times and I got arrested because she convinced the cop that I hit her. I got proven innocent, though, because there was no evidence.
But why didn't you call the cop on her when she did it? You got to beat her to the phone and call the cop. Really. And
interesting choice of words.
What?
You got to beat her to the phone.
Run to the phone.
Right, yeah.
You have to get to the phone first. Call the cop, have her arrested, and leave her there. Don't feel sorry, bail her out. Otherwise, she's just going to beat you again. You told Harpo to beat me. Anyway, thank you.
On Rumble, that handyman again gave another generous donation saying, "Thanks for the time you gave me. Best radio show helping men and women." Now here's a doozy question. Why won't the LGBT/libtards ask the Muslim companies to make their cakes?
Because they don't care. They're scared of the Muslims. They just hate Christianity. They hate Christianity because Christianity is the only religion I know that says you must be born again. You must admit to yourself that you're wrong. You're wrong for being angry. You're wrong for judging. You're wrong for making decisions. You're wrong and be born of the Father. And they don't want, even though a lot of them are starting to admit that they're wrong because they are so miserable in private when they're by themselves, but they don't want to admit that they're wrong. That's why. So they don't care about the Muslim religion. They don't care about any religion but Christianity. They want to destroy it because it reminds them that they're wrong. And most people love their wrongness. They love their hell. Good question. Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby with a couple of diamonds. Say a prayer for Owen Schroyer. This corrupt government is trying to put him in prison.
Yeah, I heard about that. Such an amazing, tough guy, Owen. God bless him.
Delilah Sion speaks out about a coffee. Jesse, growing up in my culture in mommy Africa, we used to talk about Western culture. All they do is just work, eat, sleep, have the S word, sex. No fasting, no praying, no remembering God, and just living for the moment. Now we have become that way too. The culture is gone.
Yeah.
People all over the world, same spirit, acting the same.
It used to not be that way, Sion, in this country. They put God first. When I was growing up, they would put God first. That changed over the years as the women, the feminist women started to take over. They allowed them to take over. That's when all that started to change. They took the Father away and they replaced it with hell. So it used to be that way here.
Mommy Africa.
Luther bought a coffee, answering last week's biblical question. What is my state of mind?
Yeah.
Georgia, of course. Georgia's the great state to have on your mind.
Georgia on my mind.
Just ask good old Uncle Jesse, he says.
That's right. Georgia on my mind.
And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all. Amazing. Become your own man. Become your own woman. Get on that straight and narrow. Don't be afraid to do it. Overcome fear with good. You can be free right here, right now, amongst all the mess that's happening around you. It doesn't have to be your mess. All right? Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the super chat. Who is this from Michigan? Riyadh. Mike from Michigan. Riyadh from Michigan. Mike from California. Derek from Tennessee. Ray from Michigan. And the caller just dropped. I am out of time. Tomorrow is Manhood Hour, third hour. I'll be back tomorrow. You guys call me tomorrow, ladies. Call me tomorrow. Have a good day. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake, Hake report.com. And after that, Joel Friday, he black. And after that, the American Anchor Baby. A busy day today. Have a good day, folks.
He put that lightning in you, igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never want to stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama, better stop all the drama, better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
You must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father.
Thank you, JLP and